and now they're actually calling themselves socialists. When you let them take over a major American city, this is what you get. The state-run grocery stores, which work so well in Cuba and the Soviet Union and Venezuela. Just bad ideas.
Actually, the grocery stores work fine. The problem was, of course, the boycotts and the blockades.
Sam Seder and the team at the Majority Report take a look at Bill Maher-ing it up with Brian Tyler Cohen on his, whatever his show is. I don't know. The Basement, the Grotto, the Dumbo Box. I don't know what it's called. And they do what they do, which is delightfully skewer the baloney coming out of, in this case, Bill Maher's mouth, and pepper in some actual facts and perspective that put it all into, perspective.
I got to say, Bill Maher, kudos to him, because whatever supplements he's taking, it really, he looks younger. Like the color is coming back into his hair. It's really, he's keeping good care of himself.
98 all over again.
And here is Bill Maher talking about Zohran Mamdani.
It is a walking commercial for the Republican Party nationally.
The Republicans are going to...
When you let the Democrats, socialists, and now they're actually calling themselves socialists, when you let them take over a major American city, this is what you get. The state-run grocery stores, which work so well in Cuba and the Soviet Union and Venezuela. New York is New York. It's definitely it's the media capital, the financial capital. It is a bellwether like no other city is in this country. So don't tell me that who the mayor of New York is doesn't matter.
Let me play devil's advocate for a second. Do you think, let's say,
I agree with Bill Maher here that the mayor of New York City is important. It's a very important city in the country of the United States. Now, can everything be replicated in every city? New York? No, New York City is very unique. It's a lot more diverse.
A lot more diverse than Beverly Hills.
Apparently it is, yes. We also know that in places like Kansas, you can find state-run grocery stores. And even in Live Free or Die, New Hampshire, right, is all state-run liquor stores.
In Minnesota, too, look up municipal liquor stores. There's like hundreds of them, and they all have like 4.7 out of 5 ratings on Google.
So Sam Seder and Matt are correct here. It's also a great point that they bring up about the liquor stores. There are 17 states in the U.S. where the government controls the liquor stores. Now, the degree varies a little bit, one degree or another, but in a state like Pennsylvania, they are government owned and operated. So if you buy liquor in Pennsylvania, you are going to a state-run, government-controlled, government-operated liquor store. And you don't hear Republicans squawking and screaming socialism about that.
And these 5 grocery stores that Mamdani is going to do.
And it just says in neighborhoods that don't have grocery stores, because the people who would start a business to do them haven't done it in these neighborhoods.
The idea that Republicans are going to run against city-run grocery stores is fantastic. Now, I hope he can get them up and running by the election, because if he can, it's going to be a selling point. We're going to start to see these all around the country. I know Worcester was already looking into this.
Sam Seder's right here. Obviously, anything can be done well or done poorly. If it's done well, it could be a model that other things adopt. But even from the left, you expect the right wing to scream and do scare tactics. Socialism, that's what they do. From the left, it's like the resistance to this is like, we can't even think about it. We can't even try something new. 5 stores in underserved areas. We can't pilot a program. What if it's great? Why don't we see how it goes? And then, oh no, we can't do that. The Republicans are gonna, they're gonna use it against us. The Republicans are gonna use anything we do against us. That's all the Republicans do.
Go ahead.
Advocate for a second. Do you think, let's say, on the seize the means of production, do you think that the mayor, that one person, if he is a democratic socialist, do you think that he would have the power and influence to be able to, like, usher in socialism?
He definitely has the power and influence to elect J.D. Vance or whoever is the Republican candidate next time. It is a walking commercial for the Republican Party nationally.
The Republicans are going to...
When you let the Democrats, socialists, and now they're actually calling themselves socialists, when you let them take over a major American city, this is what you get. The state-run grocery stores, which work so well in Cuba and the Soviet Union and Venezuela. Just bad ideas.
Actually, grocery stores work fine. The problem was, of course, the boycotts and the blockades, so that they couldn't get food in there. Now, if New Jersey or Connecticut attempts to blockade food stuff like on 95 or via
Mamdani takes over New York, we're going to turn it into Cuba.
And again, this ugly streak,
Well,
streak of anti-Semitism.
Who's the most popular politician on the left?
Oh yeah, I gotta jump in. This anti-Semitism supposedly from Mamdani. They had a mayoral debate. They asked everybody what their first stop would be if they were to become mayor, and everybody fell all over themselves to say, "Oh, I would go to Israel. I would go to the mother country. I would rush to Israel." And Mamdani simply said, "I'd stay in New York. Right? I would be the mayor of New York. My job is to serve the people of New York. Why would I go to Israel, a foreign country? That's not part of the mandate here." And people like Bill Maher, but certainly not limited to Bill Maher, have labeled this as insidious anti-Semitism, which is about as absurd as it gets. And it would be absolutely laughable. I mean, these guys are laughing at it if it wasn't so common. Guys, it's not anti-Semitic to simply say I'd focus on my... Why is the mayor of New York making international trips anyway? Who cares? It's not relevant.
AOC? I don't know.
One of, but who's Bernie is Bernie,
yeah.
Bernie is, I mean, he's not a capitalist,
No, he's not. And he's also not president.
But
never would be.
But neither is Mamdani.
No, but he will, trust me, he will be featured in the campaign commercials.
They're going to feature people. They boogeyman everybody.
Yeah, but you don't have to boogeyman him. He does it to himself.
But they'll do it regardless. Nancy Pelosi, Hillary Clinton, Gavin Newsom.
Yeah, but
they
I don't want to cast aspersions, but I think there's some better arguments that could be made in that context. One does not have to be defensive about Zohran Mamdani.
Or minimize him as he's not that big of a deal. Like, the Democrats should be so lucky.
Exactly. I mean,
the commercial that appeals to 75
at this
to 80%.
juncture, like, I don't know what policies that Mamdani is pushing that you wouldn't necessarily see with like a Tim Walz in a purplish state with a blue hue.
Every attack is a campaign ad for Mamdani. Every single one of them.
It'll be an easy commercial for them. Yeah, like he appeals to 75% of people under 40. So yeah, okay, I hope it's a commercial. Also, Oregon, didn't know this. The liquor stores are run by state-appointed agents who act as independent contractors.
Yeah, we can stop it there. But I think that point that the Democrats should be so lucky. Yeah. Let's get some candidates on the left that get their constituents fired up and excited about supporting politics and supporting these pro-people policies. And if it means trying some new initiatives with a very small handful of like these grocery stores he's talking about in underserved areas. Actually go and read his policy. It's not radical. It's radical in that it's some kind of a different approach than has been tried, for forever, it seems. And hey, let's try a thing. If it works, fantastic. Look at implementing it more widely. If it doesn't work, well, it didn't work. It's not this insane threat to our... I'll tell you what's an insane threat to our nation is what's happening in D.C. right now. You know, you don't have to look any further than that. The louder the right screams that we're trying to take over the country, the more obvious it is that they are the ones who are actively engaged in taking over the country. It is a little crazy making. I think the fact that Zohran Mamdani won the primary in such a shocking and overwhelming way speaks to the fact that he's saying something that the people want to hear. And I think that the corporate Democrats show their hand when they scramble to resist and not even just fail to support, but actively in some cases undermine candidates like Zohran Mamdani. And Tim Walz is a great example too. You know, people loved Tim Walz. People loved what Tim Walz was saying. And I think you can get into the weeds parsing out the timing of that campaign. And, you know, maybe Tim Walz should have been the head of the ticket. And all of the woulda, coulda, shoulda stuff that was, you know, I'm not necessarily advocating for that. Kamala was the vice president, so that makes the most sense on paper. But these common sense, pro-populist stuff is enormously popular. And I think a lot of people voted for Trump because they thought, as he said he was going to do, that he was going to deliver on some of this. Now, it's flabbergasting to me after having him for 4 years that people would, I mean, were you not paying attention for his first term? Maybe they weren't. I don't have a magic 8 ball that'll answer all these questions, but, you know, the Democrats should be so lucky. We should be so lucky as to have a slate of young, energizing candidates across the board that their constituents are excited about. That, you know, we can try and implement some of this stuff, and if it works, fantastic, and if it doesn't work, we'll try something else. But we're seeing what the Republicans want to do: deregulate, move wealth even more radically upward out of the hands of the people and into the rich, the increasingly few, increasingly richer and richer rich. And that's not translating to American happiness, right? So we got to try something new. And people like Bill Maher should shut their yap or get behind it. That's my opinion. Let me know what you think in the comments.